Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. I am here with Gryfflet, and hey, Gryfflet, what are you up to here? Oh, I understand. Of course, you're celebrating, right? You're here. Oh, you're celebrating with Elmo Brown, the Burglar trainer? Right. Yeah, happy Gondorian New Year to you, too. It's a big day, of course, March 25th. So, understandably, Gryfflet is in his party attire here, but it's time to get your game face back on, Gryfflet, because we've got to go and carry on the epic quest, and we are going into the realms of darkness today. So we better get ninja-fied here from the beginning. So thanks, Elmo, for partying with Gryfflet here to celebrate the opening of the Gondorian New Year. It's, of course, the date of our broadcast here today is March 25th, which is the Gondorian New Year, the day on which Barad-dûr falls. So that's a big deal and not a good day for falling off bridges, so I shouldn't do that. My lag was so much better when I did this earlier on. Anyway, okay, so Gryfflet is going to go, he's going to go talk to Aragorn, because that's what Elrond told him to do. All right, one more bridge perilously to cross here. This is the one that always makes me most nervous of all. Okay, the log bridge makes me even more nervous. All right, so we having just so we got to go back and think, because we were having fun in Goblin Town last time, which was awesome. I mean, how cool are those cave paintings? Right, the cave paintings in Goblin Town are just by far my favorite thing about Goblin Town. The idea that we would have goblin art, right? Goblin representational art. I mean, that is so cool. To be able to see something from the goblin cultural perspective and to see their kind of view of not only of themselves, of course, but of of those two memorable events, and of course the one significant character. The idea of sort of Gollum growing to this enormous mythic figure among them is really, really interesting. Just love the idea. So hey, Legolas. Oh yeah, no, I don't want to. Legolas wants to talk to me. I was looking into the quest for Erebor, the road to Erebor instances, and that's what Legolas and Boromir want to talk to me about. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk to Aragorn because we got to get down to business. Matters in hand. They are indeed in hand. I have taken care of business, Aragorn. I know you've been busy, but I totally fought a Nazgul. Just like one-on-one. I soloed a Nazgul and witnessed the awakening, the reanimation of a zombie dragons or dragon wraith or whatever it was. So, I've been busy, but let's head off now. Where are we going? Okay. This morning, a falcon arrived bearing a message for me from Estildine, the hidden refuge of my people in the North Downs. Yep, been there, lovely place. Halberid's a lovely guy. It would appear that another such bird came to Estildine from the north, gravely wounded, bearing a message from one of my kinsmen we had believed long dead. I know little more, for the message to me was brief. But Direvun has asked me to come at once. My time here is short, and I cannot return now to confer with my people. My path lies to the south and to the east. Will you go to Estildine in my stead and learn what tidings have come there? Speak to Direvun, for it was he who sent the message to me. I fear the news is grave, for Coronir was deemed lost years ago when his captain Golodir disobeyed my edict and took a company north into Angmar. Oh man, they were never heard from again. It is a joy that Coronir lives, but what kept him from contacting us before now? All right, a series of mysteries indeed. So once again, we have to go as Aragorn's representative. That probably shouldn't make me as happy as it does, but it does. Okay, yeah, so we are Aragorn's representative to go and say, Aragorn can't come, but we're here to take care of matters in his stead because he's got really important business. Not that your business isn't important, but anyway, so let's head over to the stable master and see if we can make our way to Estildine here. Go get to the bottom of this business. Falcons from the north. So Aragorn forbade the Dunedain to go up into Angmar, but Golodir broke that order from Aragorn. So we've got the journey of the rebel Dunedain, and Corunir, whose name is disturbing, has checked back in. He was also believed lost with them, and he's now checked back in. So we've got to check on what's going on up there in the north in Angmar itself. So this is going to be exciting. Coronir's name, of course, being somewhat disturbing, as it is quite like Kuronir, which is Saruman's name. Of course, it's not the same name. It's different. But of course, I can't help but think of Saruman when I think of Kuronir there. So, or Korunir. But nevertheless, we can get there from here, can't we? Yes, we can. Okay. Thank you. Bye, Rochelle, good. I hope you have a good time there in your stable. Still a while before you have to go out and set out and look for Aragorn. But okay, back in the North Downs. Busy place, Estildine. A lot of traffic for a secret fortress. This is one of the kind of ironies that you have to sort of work with, right? The idea that the location of Estildine is theoretically secret, even though, it's also a little bit like Grand Central Station. So as far as the amount of traffic it receives in-game, but that's okay. Everybody is real discreet when they come in here. That's the thing. Hey, Darvun. What news from the north? Wanted to say that for a long time. Welcome, Gryfflet. Did Aragorn not come with? Of course he didn't come with me. It's fell news? What? The fact that I'm just here and not Aragorn is... Oh, come on. Yeah. I will have to do... Oh, thanks, Darvun. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, I'm prepared for a long, dark journey. Through Ram Duath into Angmar that I must send you. Okay. I'll go to Angmar. Okay, start from the beginning. Yeah, let's do this. Many years ago, one of our captains, a man by the name of Goladir, desired to enter the realm of Angmar, for he had heard rumor that the descendants of the ancient Hillmen of Rhudaur had made for themselves a home there and began again to multiply. Okay, all right. So we remember this, right? We know about the kingdom of Rhudaur. They built a tower like just down the road from here, in a place where they really shouldn't have built a tower. You remember them. So anyway, so the people of Rhudaur. The Hillmen were under the sway of Angmar, so the Hillmen came to dominate Rhudaur, which sort of fell away from its Númenórean roots. It was dominated by the Hillmen, who were in turn dominated by Angmar. But since the fall of Angmar, remember, Angmar was wiped out. I mean, it was completely, it didn't just like suffer a setback, right? Angmar was completely destroyed, which means that the Hillmen, who had previously been under its control, were free and able to set up their own culture for quite some time, a number of centuries, which in elf time isn't all that long, but in human time is really quite a lot. So anyway, so we're gonna go and explore where the Hillmen are. So we need to keep in mind about the Hillmen, the culture of the Hillmen. We should be careful, perhaps, not to assume that all Hillmen are in the service of Angmar, because they might not be, right? Okay, anyway, right, so the Hillmen of Rhudaur, yeah. He suspected also that a shadow had come again unto Carn Dûm, for fell creatures began to spread southward into the North Downs. So this is Goladir worrying about these things. Aragorn forbade any to go there, for that land still had an ill name, though it has been barren for hundreds of years. Nevertheless, Goladir gathered those who would go with him and passed out of our memory until a few weeks ago. A wounded falcon arrived bearing a message from Coronir, one of Goladir's company, stating that he had been dwelling at a place called Aughair, a village of the Hillmen somewhere north of Ram Duath. Will I go there? Of course! Absolutely. The urgency makes you fear what has come to pass. I deem we have not yet seen the darkest times. Yes, I deem that your doom is yet to come upon you as well. Sure, I'd be happy to head up there. So let's go find Coronir in Aughair. Let's make our way to Angmar. So I reckon I'm going to go this way, because I think there are a couple ways I could go right to Angmar. I'm going to go this way to Angmar because I don't feel like dodging worms and drakes. So I'm going to go this way and find, because I know there's some Hillmen that live up there. We went through here before, I think. But yeah, so we're gonna head up to the north. Now, while I do this, I'm gonna try to answer a lore question. Madman Modeler, That's an interesting name, asks, I'm curious what I make lore-wise of the various names of orcs we run across. A lot of their names, my own black speech isn't good enough to be able to translate much of them. My Tolkien linguistics is shockingly bad. It's always been one of my weaknesses. I have one who my whole life has just loved the books, and I've been reading the books and studying the books and what Tolkien wrote. I have never by nature shared Tolkien's own love for languages. I know that, if I were to meet Tolkien, it is the one thing he would disapprove of most of me and my activities, is the shocking lack of attention that I paid to the languages. So a lot of his languages I've never learned as so many others have. So my own, I'm familiar with many of the terms and with some of the turns of phrase and things just from the familiarity of how they come up and the context in which they're raised in the stories. But I don't know the languages themselves very well, so I can't give you translations. But I do know the people at Turbine are very careful about this. Chris Pearson, the senior lore guy at Turbine, is quite good with the languages and spends a lot of time on that. So I don't. I am sure the names are clearly derived from the Black speech. Am I going the right way? Vaguely, yes. The names are derived from the. So that's when you see things like Tarkrip. That's clearly derived from the Black speech. Again, what it translates to, I'm not sure, but they do a good job. I think that the naming, and that's so important, right? That the nomenclature system in Lotro, when they do have to make up names, and not just individual names, but entire systems of names. When we're visiting, for instance, countries which the story, Tolkien's story never gets to. So, for instance, I'm thinking, my guardian Wigand is in Dunland right now, pursuing Volume 3 of the Epic Quest line, and Dunland had to be pretty much made up from scratch because we never get to Dunland in the stories, right? We know very little about the Dunlendings, and so they choose, the Lotro folks choose to make the names of the places and the people there in Dunland, the sort of the culture, they chose to make it generally a Celtic culture with Celtic names, which I think is a really interesting choice, and I think very, very justifiable. Just as, of course, it is justifiable to use all of the Finnish names that they use for the Losoth up in blank. I've not slept much lately. The cold place, Foracal. Thank you. Anyway, yeah. So again, that's also a really great choice. Finnish being, a language which was such an inspiration for Tolkien, and it's the linguistic basis of Quenya. So, using that, I think is really a brilliant idea. Okay. Here we are in this Hillmen camp. Now, I'm trying not to be prejudiced against Hillmen in general, right? Because the Hillmen have been living out from under the sway of Angmar for quite some time, and it's entirely possible that they've established an independent existence and are not dominated by Angmar. But I'm gonna say, if you've got a white factory here in your camp, if you've got one of these ominous green smokestacks going on, this is at least some kind of shrine or something. And if I'm experiencing this much dread, I'm at what? I'm at 4 dread right now. I'm deeply uneasy. Gryfflet is very uneasy here. So I'm thinking, and we're going with the cages on poles decorating motif, right? Anybody who decides skeletons languishing in iron cages hanging from posts. Anybody who thinks that's a sound decorating concept, I just have to say I think there's some serious Angmarim influence here. So look at this. We got the white factories on either side. I don't see a lot of whites. I wonder if these Hillmen know what those things are for. It's like, dude, Mr. Skirmisher, do you have any idea what they make with these things? Right? Like, do you realize that this probably means they're just waiting for somebody to come along and kill you, and then they'll reanimate your corpse? Like, that's probably their plan. You should really reconsider this, man. Like, I'm telling you, go talk to your chieftain and tell him, I like your skirt, by the way. Really nice outfit. Yeah. Yeah, what's this boss action going on in here in the middle? I mean, it's kind of looks a little clunky, but you know, protect your xiphoid process. I can see where you're coming from there. And your buckles are so fancy. Wow, yeah. Okay, well, your armor is lovely. But because your armor is so lovely, I can just tell you that this is a bad idea, and you should talk to your chieftain, because really, you don't want to be a part of this system. It's, you know, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, like, it's better to be the one who strings people up in cages on poles than to be the one who is strung up in cages on poles. But still, you know, that's no excuse. Who's this? Hey, Elise. Where are you going? Can I walk with you? We hanging out? Whoa, hang on. Statue of a... What is that? I have no idea. It's got wings, so it's not a Balrog, obviously. A very prominent rib cage and a snaky tail. What is this? And there's a giant spider, but it's got horns, a gaping mouth, but with like a beak. It's got like a beaky. That is freakish. I haven't the faintest idea what that thing is. But I do know I'm not keen to meet one. Yeah. Wow. I like how the pedestal is all like, I am, you know, it's all like, it looks rough. Looks like it's a pile of stones. Of course, it's not. It's carved to look like a pile of stones. So we want a rough base to the Oh boy, my dread is just going up and up, right? I'm gone full Eye of Sauron here. How much dread do I have now? 5. The full 5 dread. Okay, so, and I'm actually taking damage from the proximity to that statue. It's like this statue is so ugly that it's actually hurting me to be near it. Okay, well, I wonder where Elise went. She looked like she needed some company. Woman of the Hillmen strolling through. Oh well. I'm in Angmar! Hooray! Sort of. Ooh. Okay. Oh, Algire's over there. Alright, no problem. Look at this. Bleak hills. And very large cave claws. Okay. Let's see if I can find this town. Uh-oh. Need help? You good? Ah, you're good. I'm not going to steal your kill. You're doing a fine job. Keep up the good work. Somebody's got to work to keep these roads spider-free, after all. I'm just going to run away and kite the spiders. That's my plan. Interesting that we have spiders here. But, I mean, I suppose... Oh, this is not a cave claw. This is a ravager. A blade beak ravager. Ooh, what a nice cleft. Look at that. This is really impressive looking. Whoop. No, you don't. Mr. Skittering Strangleweb. Sorry, I forgot I was being pursued. I probably shouldn't stop to look around too much when I'm actually kiting mobs. I love the cliffs, the way that you know, we're in this like knife, you know, this knife sharp canyon between these guys. That's really neat. Okay, where are we here? Are we still being pursued? No, we're not. What is this? Siege equipment? Oh, I know where we are. Only 2 left. Started with stupid orcs die on the way. It happens. If War Machine not go to North Downs, I get flogged. Oh man, they're bringing war machines to the North Downs. That sounds bad. Well, that's okay. Those guys were coming here behind me. I'm sure they will foil whatever devious plans these guys have here. But I've got to get to Algair because I've got a crucial message to it. Is that a... Okay, it's another cave claw. More siege equipment. Boy, those guys, they've got their work cut out for them here. Okay. The spiders, the spiders seem a little unnecessary. I mean, they're kind of sinister. See, look here, this is another person. He looks like he's got this situation well under control. It's good to see Gryfflet isn't alone up here, The whole fate of the region doesn't... Well, at least we've got a web. That's something there. Okay. Right. I mean, I can understand the impulse to want to put spiders up here because, evil land spiders wandering around. Giant spiders are a pretty typical... Sorry. Just wanted to... Let's take a little swim here. Look at this guy playing King of the Hill over here. He's on his little island, right? This blade beak ravager. Is this your little island here? Little creepy island in the middle of a creepy lake. Huh. Okay. Alright, sorry, I'll stop messing around. Gryfflet's got an appointment. Here I am saying I don't have time to foil the plans of orcs bringing siege machinery down to the North Downs, but I do have time to inspect little, terrain features. Come on now, Gryfflet, stay focused. Alright. So we're going this way, right? Where we're going? Yeah. Nice wooded uplands. I mean, this is, it's a little stark, but, Angmar's not so bad so far. I mean, spiders, yes, but this is quite lovely, this, pines on the heights, and, oh dear, this is another narrow corridor, looking rockier and more grim. Am I going the right way? No. No, we took a wrong turn, didn't we? Yep. Yep, I wanted to head the other way. Now, this last intersection. Trying to get to Algair, and now I've got, I think, another spider chasing me. Aha! Yeah, I think that's the path I wanted. Yes, indeed. Up to the heights. Up this way, not through that ominous-looking cleft. I'm sure I'll end up over that way eventually. Let's see what's up on the heights. Oh, somebody lives here. Okay, who lives here? Is this Algair? No, this is not Algair. This is a bastion of hope. Well, that's nice. That's nice, isn't it? This place home. No beasts, orc, or men drive us from here. Okay. Yeah, you're the Earthkin. No offense, but I've been trying to ignore you. Because the Earthkin, they don't make really that much sense to me. I have to say that I think the Earthkin, and I love these guys though, with the enormous backpack horns. Yeah. I mean, that's if you're going to be a chieftain and you're going to wear a headdress, I say do it properly. You know what I mean? That's the way to be, right there. Enormous horns, half as big as look at he's stroking them, right? These are nice, right? Bet you would want a pair of these too. Yeah, that's impressive. It really is. Imposing. This guy's beating his drum, right? Hey, I'm the bard, okay. And this guy is unimpressed. He's just standing there staring at this guy how long is he going to be beating that stupid drum? Anyway, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Earthkin. They are one of my very least favorite elements, just mostly because there's almost nothing that even connects with them in Tolkien's lore. I mean, of all the creatures that we get, of all the peoples and people groups that we see in Lotro, I find the Earthkin hardest to I don't even know where to start, in thinking about where in Tolkien they could possibly come from. I can't even think of a stray remark that could excuse or justify or explain them in any way. I have no idea what to do with them, so I usually don't. But anyway, so okay. Yeah, I don't... oh, much darker over this way. Hey, where's this? Are we there? Yay, I think we're in Algair. Okay. Ooh. Look at that castle up there. Wow. Is that their castle? That's really impressive. Whose castle is that? I've never noticed that in my life. I'm where I think I am, right? I've never even seen these walls. Good grief. Who built that? Is that Angmar construction? The Hillmen didn't build that, did they? Huh. Not sure. Okay, well, but I see as we approach the outskirts of Algair, we begin to see some post and lintel with stuff hanging off it. Architecture now, we've seen this, right? We saw a lot of this in the Goblin Cave, so they were fond of skulls hanging down. Here we have... I was going to go with rags, but let's say banners. This is a banner? Maybe this is a banner of their enemies. Yeah, I like to think that. Let's think that. See, so this is the banner for their clan. What's on it? What do we have up here? Is that a dragon? Looks like a dragon. Head of dragon, front claws of dragon, serpentine body of dragon. Is that what that is? Maybe it's an octopus. Could be a squid. Doubt it. Let's go with dragon. So we've got the Trave Galorg, and your foes are the Trave Duvardain, are they? Okay, and they're traitorous and weak. I bet that. I thought they would be. So I'm thinking this tattered thing that's slung over here has to be a captured banner of their enemies, right? Has to be, since the other banners are in such good shape. I have been to Algair many, many times, and I have never noticed that at all. Never once have I even seen that there was... I'm going to dismount here. I've never even seen that there was a castle wall up there. Which way am I even pointing? Okay, I'm pointing straight east. So along this whole valley, it's not a castle, it's a wall. That is to say, it's like a curtain wall rather than a castle. Wow. Wow. Okay, so we see immense defensive fortifications. And far more rustic and, frankly, highly, significantly less defensible town of Algair here. Hi, Mr. Stablemaster. Always introduce myself to Stablemasters. Good to see you. I can travel to Estildine from here. That's good, so I don't have to go cross-country again. I cannot swift travel. I can only get a slow horse to Estildine. That's not great, but okay. All right. What's that? There's a banner over here. Hang on. This is a pure utilitarian. No design. Right. Just a bunch of hides with the stitching visible here. This is just like a windbreak kind of pavilion things. What, can you like rent this out for family reunions and stuff? Is that... But this now. Okay, we've got geometric shapes, huh? 3 shapes and hanging beads. An intriguingly abstract... I don't think there's anything on the top. No, just a spike. Okay, but that symbol, this little... Is that a sunburst? It's not a sunburst. This little... I don't even know what that is. Little crown design thing. And this pole over here. Look at this. I was not even paying attention to this pole. I just got it in the background. So we've erected this pole, like higher than a telephone pole, and it just has those little designs on it. Is that like a flagpole? Right? Like to identify this? Look at the sky and these roiling... Wow, that's eerie looking, the sky. Looks like... I don't even know what that looks like. Something is swimming through the bloody atmosphere. Okay. It's a little grim up here in Angmar, but I almost took a long walk off a short pier. Let's not do that. More banners. Yeah, more just geometric shapes and designs. Okay. Hey, you guys seen a ranger? His name kind of sounds like Kurinir, but he's not. Oh, this guy looks important. He's standing on a pedestal. Cranach. Oh, and you can tell, look, he's obviously the chief, right? You can tell he's the chief because look at his head. He's got the thing on it, just like that's up on the pole, right? He's wearing the whatever that is. Yeah, these things. You can see these designs here again, just like this other pole. So, and there's another one of those banners. Oh, and they've got them underfoot. See, that's totally, it's got to be an enemy banner. He's got one draped on the steps, right? So he can step on it as he goes up and down from his platform. It's totally, it must be one of the banners of the Trev, whatever, their enemies. Hey, Cranach, have you seen... Ranger, okay. All who call themselves Trev Galorg must have a purpose. Okay, that purpose is their fem. If you have no fem, you are no Trev Galorg and no friend to us. Okay, I'd like to be your friend. Prove yourself worthy of being called a friend to the Trev Galorg of Aughair. I will give you such a fem if you do all that I ask of you. Okay, so you will give me a purpose if I do some things. Okay. It is the place of a chieftain to direct his people to do great things. All right. Even in the face of danger, especially in the face of danger. And many dangers are arrayed against Aughair. Torquil, Wraith, and Osbile, Wraith probably, and Osbile, will tell you of some of these, okay? I will aid them in facing the evils. Okay, so this is a challenge. I've got to prove myself, all right? I'll prove myself to the Trev Galorg. So these are hillmen, right? But these hillmen don't seem all bad. I've not seen a single white factory, right? I mean, we're just going with stitched together hides and nice, clean geometric circles. This or geometric shapes. This, whatever this design is, this little sunburstish kind of thing, right? This is clearly. I mean, it looks like the sun. It doesn't. This doesn't look evil. It doesn't look Angmarim. I'll go talk to your friends. But hang on. First, I gotta find a ranger. Ooh, look at the black rock. It's getting more troubling over here, right? We've gone from the steep slopes and the gray cliffs over the pine woods and the valleys with creepy little islands in the middle of creepy little lakes, and now we've got this like obsidian cliffs and ovens, right? Crafting areas. This is nice. Yeah, look, a crafting area and not a single white factory to be seen. See, you guys are on the right track. Hey, who's that hiding in there? Aha! I found you, Ranger.
Greetings.
It doesn't matter who I am. Don't you want to hear, like, all the things that I mean, I got the Silithar, man. I helped reforge the sword that was broken. I'm like a Duvardain legend around here. But matters are grave. That's okay. Let's focus on local events. And we have need of assistance, any assistance we can muster. Yeah, what, even from short people? Is that what you're suggesting? Is that a short comment, Coronir? These good people are beset on all sides by the tyrants of Angmar. Well, that's interesting. So they are good people. I could tell. Right? You can always tell from their decorations if they're good people or not. Not that many skulls involved, so clearly. Good people. These good people, who are chiefly interested in geometric designs, are beset on all sides by the tyrants of Angmar, who now gather a mighty army to march south and crush the elves in Gondor between their hammer and the anvil of Mordor. That sounds like a plan. And one that we should thwart. Time grows short, and we must act quickly if we are to hinder the shadow of Angmar. Well, I am all about hindering shadows. Perhaps I should tell you somewhat of our long story. Yeah. When we first came onto Algyre, the Hillmen were suspicious of us. I know, right? I was talking to that guy, and he's like, you're not one of us, and I'll give you a femme if you do a bunch of things, but you have to earn our trust. So I think I'm going to do it, because I'd like to earn the trust of these people. They seem nice, and it would be nice to make more friends up here. So, plus I want to learn about the culture of the Hillmen, because all of the other Hillmen that I've met either tried to kill me on sight or just flat ignored me, like that skirmisher with the really pretty armor whom I was trying to talk over and talk around, and see if I could get him to consider the error of his ways and that of his people, but they just ignored me. So I'd like to get to know the Hillmen a little bit better. Okay, the Hillmen are under the oppression of a remnant of Angmar that had returned to Carm Doom from over the Misty Mountains. Okay. But worse, a sorcerer much likened to the Witch King of old has also come to the evil city. Oh, great. Another sorcerer, right? So it's not the Witch King himself, because we know where he is, right? Ha! Washing downstream. Well, that is to say, right, he was in the ford of Bruinen and got washed down, but presumably he's limped his pathetic way back home to his master by now, and we may meet him again later on. But anyhow, not to belittle the situation up here. Another sorcerer like the Witch King of old, because it's not like he wasn't a problem when he was up here. The Hillmen call this sorcerer the False King, for they knew well that the Witch King himself could never return to Angmar. So he's called the False King, not because he's an evil oppressor, but because so the Witch King is the real king and he's the False King, right? So he's okay, all right. Guladir determined that this steward of Angmar had to be stopped before he could gather strength in the north. Sounds prudent. He gathered together as many of the Hillmen as would follow him and journeyed east with the rest of our companions, believing that Angmar was not yet strong enough to withstand a united front. Okay. I was left behind to take word to Estildine in the event the expedition failed, which it did. Yeah, I want to hear more about the failure of the expedition. So Guladir and they didn't make it through? Yeah, tell me about the tragedy. In truth, I know not. I do not know whether it was through some machination of the false king, or whether it was purely an evil chance, but our march was brought to an abrupt end. Oh dear. As we marched east, we found ourselves confronted by a vale filled with terrible statues. I saw one of those. They were so ugly it hurt. Yeah, Ramas Deluan, the Hillman called it. That some spirit of evil vigilance abode in the stones, there was no doubt, for we could all feel the oppression of them. It was here that Guladir bade me to remain. As the host passed through the stones, it became clear why the Hillmen feared the valley so. When the last few men crossed Ramas Deluan, the watching stones threw forth a terrible malaise of oppression, such that those men caught within it were stricken dead by the weight of it upon their hearts. Oh, man. I tried to pass the stones, but could not. Guladir bid me remain, and so I did. Days turned to months, then years, and still Guladir did not return. I knew I should have returned at once to Estildine, but I could not abandon my captain. I tried vainly to cross Ramas Deluan until my very spirit was broken within me. At last I sent the message to Estildine which brought you hither. Okay, so we have to learn the secret of the Ramas Deluan. We got to get to the bottom of those statues. Perhaps one of the many lesser stones which litter this land, especially near the camps of the Angmarim and Hillmen, would reveal that secret. Okay, go to a lesser watching stone and take a rubbing of the runes found upon it at its base. Okay, beware the fell and deadly stones, for they have too terrible a power. All right. Okay. That's a strange story, Coronir, but I'm with you. See, like I say, even... hey, it's Moochie. Hi, Moochie. Even even when see, when they're doing things like this in the epic quest line, if you're thinking like living stones, when did, like, where do we get living stones in the Lord of the Rings? Like, here I was complaining about the Earthkin. Are they leaving are they leaving the books behind here with this whole living statues thing? Is that a bit of a stretch? No, they're not. They're there. Does anybody remember? Anybody remember where we find living stones like this in the Lord of the Rings? Meanwhile, I'm going to consult these, see what kind of help these lovely people need. Hi, Ms. Hillman, I'm here to help you. Hill person? Yes. Our chieftain is testing you, Southron. You're calling me Southron? That's kind of cool, actually. Okay. If I'm stout of heart, I will prove myself worthy. If you are not, I do not lie when I say that coming here will be your greatest mistake. Thinly veiled threat from Osbile. Okay. So, wargs. You have a warg problem? Okay. I will try to help you with your warg problem. That sounds like it's a challenge within my measure. Your brothers were great warriors. All spoke highly of them. Both men and women called them mighty. But even the mightiest man can be felled by a single arrow. Who said it? That's a quotation. Almost a quotation. Even the mightiest man may be felled by a single arrow. And Boromir was pierced by many, says Pippin to Denethor in The Return of the King. Very cool. I love little stealth quotes from the book that creep into to quest text, especially in a totally different context. Okay, orcs beset them by the cave Morphil, and they were defeated. I have petitioned Crannog for vengeance, and now he sees fit to unleash you upon the orcs in my stead. Absolutely. I love being unleashed on things. That's right. I am the halfling terror who will be unleashed upon with the Ongbur's orcs. That's right. Okay. Defeat orcs in and around the cave. Will do. No problem. I will avenge your brothers. I will unleash myself. Hey, Rife. The Trev Duvardain, that was the word I couldn't remember, press us at every opportunity. We must oppose them with all our strength. But still, Crannog insists on caution. Oh, you're having none of this, right? Okay, they serve the commanders of Angmar now, and they carry their tokens. In return for their bondage, the Trev Duvardain have been given the fortress city of Tor Gaelvin. Okay. We must take these tokens from them and show that the Trev Galorg will not stand for such betrayal. Okay, so skull amulets and bloodstone pendants. All right. Those sound like very unattractive adornments anyway. Okay, I shall take their adornments of questionable moral alignment away from them. Absolutely. Okay, so yes, I can see on the chat window, which I've intrepidly left open over here, though I'm not going to be able to follow it all the time. Yes, several of you have it exactly right. Both Lotro Maven and Pineleaf, hi Pineleaf, are exactly correct, as I would have expected, no less, at the Tower of Cirith Ungol. Of course, it is at the Tower of Cirith Ungol that we see just such living statues. Remember the two guardian statues whose will is there to prevent anyone entering the Tower of Cirith Ungol. Sam and Frodo must use the Phial of Galadriel and the strength of their own indomitable wills to pass through the invisible barrier that snaps closed in front of them in order to get in and out of the Tower of Cirith Ungol. So, even things which might seem kind of strange, like these weird living statues, are it's inspired by the book. Okay, now already you can see. So there's look at this. It's ruins all over the place, and you can see the similarity between this and the one that we're up on the app. See, there it is. See, it is a curtain wall. I was right. See, it's not a fortress. It's just a curtain wall up there. Is there more over on this side? Can't see. Cliff is too high there. Okay, so this was clearly designed to. This was the like the southern boundary, right? So they were walling in the the plains down here, Fossac Laran and the Fossac Falroyd. But yeah, we can see more of this. Are those walls again? Were there walls across here? You know, we'll have to see what we see. There's another bit down there. I don't think those are towers. I think they're probably wall bits. But that's okay. Let's see. Oh, we've got some wargs. I can start right away helping her with her warg problem. Okay. This should not be too difficult. Okay, that's right. Just gonna wander around. I'm not gonna... Hopefully I shouldn't have to go hunting for wargs. I'll just see which ones I come across in the course of my explorations. There should be plenty. I would think of wargs to go around. Now notice the landscape, right? There's a clear parallel that we can see, visual parallel, I mean, in the way the landscape is depicted up here. What are we supposed to be thinking of? Well, the trees are the biggest giveaway, right? And that's Fornost, right? Up by Fornost, you know, up away by Deadman's Dyke. That's haunted land, as Butterbur says. So notice we have again the blasted trees, the bleak landscape, the sky even more depressing. Yeah, I'm just gonna nab me one more warg here on the way out. Good. Now, what's the significance of that parallel? Right? Think about what that parallel means. Anytime you see blasted land like this in a Tolkien landscape, it's the kind of thing that Tolkien did a lot in the landscapes in his stories. We see it, of course, first and possibly most famously in The Desolation of Smaug, and then we what was that? Sorry, just saw something strange. We see it first in The Desolation of Smaug. Ah! I was being counter-stealthed by a skull. Oh, boy, this is getting interesting. There we go. I think my friends in high places have drawn off the other two skulkers. Up, they're coming back! That's right. Don't you think you can just run off and attack Moochie? I've still got you covered over here. Okay. Okay. I think Moochie will be alright. Am I getting attacked again? Another stealth ward? Okay. Alright. Okay. Done with combat there. No problem. So where are we headed? We are headed up here is where the statue is, apparently. And around up there is where those orcs live that I'm supposed to take vengeance on. And the Dark Raiders are down here. The Dark Raiders are the ones whose... Oh no, those are the ones that I'm supposed to take vengeance on. It's the... Oh, that's the Trophies of War. No, that's the blue. Oh, I guess they're just wargs up there? Okay. I'm not having a problem finding wargs. No problem. Okay, so let's go. Let's mount up. I've already got 5 wargs. I don't anticipate having a hard time identifying a place to get more wargs here for my little warg bounty. Oh, look at those over there. What is that? That didn't used to be a wall. Was this a dome? Is that all that's left of the supports of a dome? Was this like a little... It was a little gazebo. An evil gazebo. Okay, the ruins of an evil gazebo. So even the gazebos of the Witch King of Angmar were thrown down and entirely ruined. Yea, we shall lay waste the gazebos of the Witch King. And verily they did. And they came up and they broke the walls and they shattered the gazebos, and the kingdom of Angmar was in ruin, and the morale of its people utterly broken. That makes a lot of sense. Is this a pedestal? What did that used to be? Seriously. Hi, underside of my horse. Sundial? Really large caltrop? Let's see, you're not... I have no idea what that is. Signpost? Flagpole? Huh. I give up. So now here we see, amidst all of these ruined walls, which were clearly from old Angmar, we have now a wooden palisade built by the Trave Duvardain, upon whom I should probably consider sneaking up. And then here we have this stone. Okay, Duvardain's sentry. Let's inspect your armor while I fight you. What's going on? I see you got some bones. Oh, what are those, like the bones and shoulder blades of rodents? Seriously, what are you doing with that armor? And you've got a necklace thing going on. I don't know, man. Your ensemble just does not hold together. And what is this? Is this Numenorian? Kind of looks Numenorian. And I've seen these before. Where have I seen these? Haven't I seen things like this in Innuminous? Surely. This part of it looks elvish. Huh. And yep, I was right. It's not the same statue though, but it looks like the same creature. Oh, this one seems to be female. That's not more attractive though. Okay, so let me see if I can sneak up. I've got to get into the range of this. I don't want to get into the range of that statue. I'm going to stay over here and throw a rock at you. Where's my rock thrower thing? I've lost my stew. Oh, there it is. I'm not in range yet. Throw a rock at you. Haha. Okay, thank you for the close-up. Yes, I can confirm your armor is not attractive. I kind of like the fact that you seem to have integrated not only the ribs of rodents, but also their shoulder blades. That's innovative, but still ugly and a little bit pathetic. I mean, seriously, of what creature are the bones attached to your... Oh yeah? Do you think you can just go up and attack my bearded diminutive? He's going to beat his drum at you. And when Moochie beats his drum at people, that's exactly what happens. They stand in stunned admiration and amazement. Okay, lesser watching stone. Yuck. What are those designs? Are those ribs? I can't jump up. Huh. Yeah, these things are ugly. Definitely got some beak action going on there. Okay, I made a rubbing. But I think inside here we have... we can get some trophies of war, so let's sneak. See anybody have like a bloodstone pendant or... Oh, look, wargs. Yeah, that's handy. Hey, I was sneaking. I was sneaking. What happened to my sneak? Okay, Berserker. Was he fighting with 2 axes? Is that a pick? You're fighting with a... Huh. A little hatchet. And gosh, you really are pitiful. What are these around your hips? Are those large teeth? I don't know. I don't know. I just cannot approve of the costuming choices here. The Trave Duvardain are certainly, whatever else they might be, a sartorial disaster. And who wears that color orange with that color purple? I mean, seriously, did you, I mean, were you even awake when you got dressed in that armor this morning? Okay. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. The tents, this tent, or pavilion, has the same design. Notice? It's got the same design as was on that banner. Did they steal this from the Trave Galorg? And look, it's another one of these stones. These elvish-looking, Numenor-looking stones. Huh. Okay, see. You can drop a blood amulet then. Let's see what we can find in here. All right. So I have a good deal more fighting to do here. So let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find another lore question to answer. Ah, okay. St. Joan asks, in the update 18 in Faranorian, there is a race of people called Woses. Is there? I'm so excited. I was hoping we would get to see the Woses. That's fantastic. I haven't been to Faranorian yet. I mean, I might have run through it in the form of a chicken, but if I haven't, I haven't been there. And if I have, I didn't stick around. They look like dwarves, but aren't. What might their origin be? Ha! Well, on that lies a tale. The Woses are the wild men of the woods. Hey, would you... I can't even see you on account of tent canvas. Oh, there you are. Hi. Oh, sure. As soon as I get my camera properly oriented, you knock me unconscious. That was unkind and thoughtless. So, the Woses, right? The Woses are the wild men. They're also called the Druidan. Not the Dunedain, the Druidan. Also called Droogs for short. D-R-U with a circumflex G. And if your sense of humor is anything like as immature as my own, this will lead you to make lots and lots of jokes about, things like, say no to Droogs and, the war on Droogs and all that kind of thing. It's especially funny in print. Oh, look at this. Look at these shields. Oh my goodness. That's a very attractive shield. Is this the Trave Duvardain shield? They make shields that nice, and yet they dress like that? Well, this has got a serpent on it. Huh. But I wonder if these are trophy shields. Oh, and here's, oh yes, a very attractive hide that we're stretching out. And some drums. And, oh yeah, a weapon rack with, not real impressive looking swords. Okay. Anyway, so Droogs, yeah. The Duvardain, the Woses. The Woses, as the men of Rohan call them. That word, by the way, Woses, is an Anglo-Saxon word. And what exactly the Woses were is not 100% clear. Like, the word is used in the Middle English poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which, of course, as you may or may not know, Tolkien was a huge fan of that poem. He did a critical edition of the text of that poem, and he wrote his own modern English translation of that poem. He was all over Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, just absolutely loved it, loved all of the works of that author. It just comes up behind me, clubs me in the back of the head, and then goes back to Moochie. That was really kind of rude to both of us, I have to say. Okay, all right. We're getting there with our trophies of war. In fact, we can probably start making our way to the exit fairly soon. Anyway, so there are Woses. In a list of monsters that attack Sir Gawain during his journeys, Woses are one of the things that attack him. We don't know what the Woses are. But in the Middle English there, the Woodoo Woses, Wuduwoses, Woodoo Woses, Wood Woses, wild men of the woods, is then sort of how that's translated. So, by the way, you remember when, if you've read the Silmarillion, you know that Turin Turambar, one of the names, the many names that he gives himself at various periods in his life, when he gets to the place of the people of Brethil, oh, and you didn't even have a skull amulet, you annoying fellow. Hooray! I defeated wargs, or at least Moochie defeated wargs. Darn it, now I've got to go find somebody else who might have an amulet. Come over here. Oh, well, we drew the warg anyway. Anyway, so when Turin goes among the men of Brethil, and he says, call me the wild, and he names himself the wild man of the woods. Woodwoes is what he names himself, right? That's the word that he used. He says, call me Woodwoes. So Turin Turambar was a Wose, in a sense, but not really. So anyway, so the Woses that you meet in Anorian, the ones that look kind of like dwarves, they are men. They're human. But they're sort of a subspecies of human. As far as I can see, oh, darn it, I still don't have enough skull amulets. Of all the annoying trinkets that the mobs are failing to drop. Here I'm trying to talk about Wood Woses, and they're not dropping their skull amulets, and that's what I call thoughtless. And notice I just waltz right past this sinister ritual going on down here. There's a fell spirit. There's a sorcerer. He's doing something sinister. 2 more of those stones, which are now looking increasingly evil. And one of it's a swooping serpent thing. He looks more threatening than the rest of them. Tell you what, I'm going to leave you guys alone, and I'm going to see if this guy, either one of them, okay, we got 2 of you. Hopefully one of you is carrying a skull amulet. Okay, so the Wood Woses. As far as I can tell, the Woses are related to sort of mainstream humans in the same... Hooray! Thank you, skull amulet. Like hobbits are. Basically, hobbits are connected to humans. At some point in time, one strand, one race of humans got, sort of separated off and smaller, and ultimately became hobbits. I mean, hobbits don't seem to have been like created separately as a separate race in the way that elves and dwarves and humans were created as separate races. They seem to be a subspecies of the race of men. Hey, look, it's another one of those random spikes. Whoa, the sky is truly freaky here. It's really eerie. Anyway, I have no idea what these are for. I'm still going to go with flagpoles. Maybe instead of with flags, you're supposed to adorn them with the impaled corpses of your foes. Can't rule that out. But anyway, so wood woses are also, like hobbits, a subspecies. Am I going the right way? Vaguely? Yes. Are also, like hobbits, a subspecies of men. The Woses are the ones who, on the road up to Dunharrow, when you find the Pukelmen, the statues, are not only made in the image of the Woses, they're made by the Woses. In fact, they're connected to Woses and sort of, what would the noun form, like wosery, wosishness, wositude. I'm not really sure, but anyway, it's whatever it is. Those statues are a very critical part of it, because in the stories, if you want to learn more about the Woses, if you really want to get like the whole background and history of the Woses, where you should go is to Unfinished Tales. In Unfinished Tales, near the end of Unfinished Tales, in I think it's section 4 of Unfinished Tales, you get one of those essays. That's where you can find the essay on the Astari, if you want to get like the background history of Gandalf and Saruman and the other wizards. And there's an essay on the Palantiri, and there's also an essay on the Druidan, or the Woses, that tell, and you can get all of their backstory, how much they hate orc folk, right? As of course the leader of the Wildmen of the Woods, whom Theoden meets. You'll remember, of course, they're the ones who guide the Rohirrim on that long lost road through the forest to bring them there on their shortcut down to Gondor, including their leader. Now, some people mispronounce the name of their leader, calling him Gonbury Gon. Remember, Ghan, but the GHC, it's not supposed to be pronounced like that. It's not pronounced like G. It is way cooler. The way that you pronounce that GH consonant in Tolkien is okay. So you know that consonant that we don't have in English, the one which sounds like you're scraping phlegm from the back of your throat, the ch consonant, right? That they do it in Hebrew and a bunch of other languages, right? That ch consonant. Well, the GH is that consonant, that ch consonant, but it's voiced, right? So just like you've got the unvoiced th, the th sound, and you've got the voiced th sound. So you've got the unvoiced ch consonant and then the voiced consonant, right? So that GH is the voiced so his name is Gonbury Gon. Now that's a fun name to pronounce, right? The Orcish word for fire, which comes up in Moria, remember, in the Fellowship of the Ring, Hosh is the same thing, same consonant. That's just about the harshest the harshest consonantal sound I think that my throat is capable of making. Hosh. So you can see why Tolkien went that way for orc language. Okay. We've got am I racking up Angmar's kills slowly here? Okay. We've got a skirmisher standing right beneath a banner, which I'm quite keen to explore. So this is a crown? A crown consisting of bloody claw marks? Yeah, I really need to look more closely at this, Mr. Angmar skirmisher. Well, you're wearing scale mail, huh? That's pretty feisty of you. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah, so this suggests a crown, right? The iron crown, but it's like the slashes of a claw. But the bands at the bottom not quite horizontal bands, but they do seem to suggest crown, right? So you've got like the bloody claw-like crown. That's a good symbol. So it's just the symbol of the Angburs, or is this an Angmar symbol in general? And the inescapable skulls adorning the top of the poles, of course. All right, let's see. We got to go into the cave, and we've got to be careful in here. Ooh, what's going on over here? Is that a hand? Is that a claw? Is that like an orcish claw reaching up under the crown? Oh, that's interesting. Is it upholding the crown? Is it grasping the crown? We wonders. Yes, we wonders. Oh, and we've got one of those lovely trellises with the skulls, suspended there between the top, and just like in Goblin Town. Oh, yes, that's just the latest in goblinoid architecture. Reaching for. Notice the sort of the visual parallel between the crooked claws of the orc hand. I'm going to go with orc hand underneath, and it's not exactly the same angles, but it certainly visually suggests it's like an echo of the crown itself. I love that. Yeah. And I have to say, the depiction of the musculature of the palm, if I'm understanding that right, is unusually sophisticated for an orcish banner drawing, which often features things like lightning bolt kind of things, as we were looking at last time. Huh, yeah. Okay, Angburs, I find your iconography interesting. Hats off to whoever designed your banner logos. They're real nice. Yeah, some of the finest orc banner iconography I've seen in weeks and weeks. Yeah, there's the same design. Excellent. Angbur's warrior. What is it, a sharpened bone? It's like a sharpened jawbone you're fighting with? I mean, that's kind of sinister and creepy and everything, but you're a big fellow. You'd be swinging around a little jawbone like that? It's just kind of sad, Angbur's warrior. It's like a cry for help. Right? I mean, you guys really need it. So I think a lot of your designer, I don't think much of your quartermaster. Man. Okay, right, and we've got this eye over here, right? We saw exactly that eye design in Goblin Town as well. Okay. Oh, another skirmisher. Yeah, there you are. Okay, we need a captain. Where is your captain, Ongbur skirmisher? There he is. I'm going to sneak right up on him. And to add insult to injury, I'm going to pick his pocket. No! I caught me picking his... No, he didn't. Oh, no, yeah, that's from killing the other guy. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well. I really wanted to pick his pocket. I haven't picked a pocket in ages. Not successfully, anyway. Okay, so what do I need? 2 more warriors after this. There's one right there. I'll turn around and go back out. I can pick up another warrior outside the front. Go, and a warg. Yeah, no shortage of wargs, as I truly suspected. Okay, so I hope that helps with the Woses. So it's not surprising that they look like dwarves because they're way shorter than most other people. They're not nearly as short as hobbits, but they are much shorter than other people. And they're stocky, and they look clumsy, but they're not. What was that? Hang on a second. Is there something hanging above this arch? Oh no, that was what I saw was the edge of these banners up here. Just kind of hanging down from this overhead bridge. Okay. Sorry. All right. Thought I missed a decoration there, but we're okay. All right. Yeah. So remember the Woses from the Ride of the Rohirrim, and read more about them in Unfinished Tales. There's a lot of really cool stuff. There's some actual like stories. Apparently, the statues, like the Pukelmen, they have this ability to. They make those statues, and the statues can come to life. They like have they have a connection between themselves and the statues. They're called watchstones. So like it tells this story called The Faithful Stone, which is about this Droog who lived near this family, and he had to go on a journey, and he left a statue, a watchstone behind, and the orcs came and attacked their house, and the stone came alive and defended them and fought against the orcs, and then they there's a fire, and the statue goes and stamps out the fire. But then when the Droog comes home, his feet are all blistered, right, from where the statue was stamping out the fire. So you see there's this connection between himself and the statue. And really, really, really cool things. Tolkien clearly loved the Droogs, the Druidon, that sort of whole idea. Even just the fact that he goes out of his way to bring them into the story there in The Return of the King, where they're not absolutely, sort of necessary or obvious, just shows you that he's really interested in them. So that's who the Woses are, and like I said, I am super excited that they put the Woses into the game. I wasn't sure that was going to happen. I didn't know if they were populating the correct regions of the game world for that. So I'm really, really glad to see that they're doing that, or that they have done that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm still lagging behind. I've been lagging behind for a while. I am I'm a pretty diehard completionist, so I have a hard time jumping ahead. I have several alts here on Landreval, and between them I have done completionist exploration of almost all of Eriador, done all the quests and all the deeds in Eriador. Pretty much done with Eriador, I think. And Moria. I did everything in Moria too. I'm working my way slowly but thoroughly through the game. I've been through Rohan. I've seen it. I visited Aedoras, well, the outside of Aedoras as a chicken. I went to Minas Tirith in my chicken run, but I've never been down questing in Gondor and or Rohan yet. I've never ridden a war steed yet. I'm getting there. I'm slowly working my way up. So we'll see.
Will you be sojourning here?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. For your compliment. I thought I did a fine job with the wargs myself.
Angmar are not friendly to the unwary.
Okay. So you believe I'm trustworthy? Yes. I avenged your brothers, so that. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Of course. Let's see. Oh yeah. By all means, healing potions. Yeah, that'd be great. In fact, let me queue those up right away, since I'm out. Okay. Yeah, very good. And right, yes, with the trophies. Boy, those skull amulets were a pain, let me tell you. Yeah. Okay. I've bloodied their noses. Yeah, I bloodied a few of their noses. The pendants sing of my victory, do they? Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, Cranog, do you trust me now? I've taken the first step on this path, but the road is winding and I have just begun to walk upon it. Not all need be as suspicious as I, for it is the duty of the chieftain to be guarded in all dealings with outsiders. Finan, east of here at the center island of Algair, has heard of your victories and wishes to speak with me. But that is Finan. I am not yet certain. Okay, Mr. Suspicious. Hey, shoes of femme? Hey, shoes of femme. Sounds good.
I would speak with yourself.
All right. Okay, some are satisfied But there's more to... Okay, all right. I'm not going to try to rush you into acceptance here, Crannog. I understand. The short path may be stomached by the treacherous. The longer the road, the more sure you can be of my nature. Okay. All right, you got 3 more people. Oh, I got to hunt out the 3 more people and complete their tasks. Okay, well, you drive a hard bargain here, Crannog, but I'll work on that. Meanwhile, I got to go talk to Coronir because I made a rubbing of his spooky statue, which is kind of like the guardian statues on the Tower of Kirithungel. So let's compare, see if he can make anything of these runes so we can figure out what's going on with the extremely creepy statues. Excuse me, Mr. Supplier. Yeah, there's a guy hiding. Right, he is. Yeah, I totally brought the rubbing. Tell me what you find.
What do you need?
The runes are of an elvish mode, but the language is the black speech. I've heard that kind of thing before. Kind of like there's a ring that's got some of that stuff on it, in which you're not well versed. Well, what's his name? Kendythe might be able to recommend a good correspondence course in the black speech, because I think he's been trying to educate himself a little bit since the early days when he and I were hanging out, and he was having me intercept letters which he knew he wouldn't be able to read, which was embarrassing for all of us. So the runes speak of a heart located within the stone. Gross. Okay, perhaps if I could study one of the stone hearts, sounds unsanitary, a way to undo the spell upon them can be found. There are some lifeless stones east of here from which you may collect such a heart without fear. Okay? Little trepidation, right? Little distaste, perhaps, but no fear. Bring me a stone heart as quickly as you may so that we may be done with our duty. Okay. A heart from a lifeless watching stone. Where do I find a lifeless stone? Where is it? Oh, down way over here in Malenhad. Really? Oh, okay. All right. We can do that, Cornier. All right. Good. Let's see. Oh, looks like we're getting to the end of our time here. I probably should. Well, first of all, I probably should go the right way, and then I should probably wait. Let's see. Let me find those other 3 people: Lachina, Cameron, and Rona, who apparently need help. Let's see if I can find any of them. Find out what they want me to do. Hi, excuse me, just passing through, just looking. Does anybody need any help? Any errands I can run? Clan hunter, clan herder. Okay, no, you're good. All your clans are herded and hunted to your satisfaction. Helegdir, that was what it is. Okay. Anybody in here need any help with anything? Tent, canvas. Oh, look, you guys have one of these. Was this your shield? And they seized it? Is that what happened? Or do you guys have the same shield makers as your enemies? Which is possible. Could have somebody who's playing both sides, right? Okay, yeah. Don't like to think about that kind of war profiteering. In the early drafts of the Silmarillion, Tolkien describes the dwarves as actually doing exactly that kind of war profiteering, supplying armor and weapons to both sides, both to the elves of Beleriand and to Melkor and his orcs. Okay, Lachina, yeah. All right, what do you got? The land must be coaxed to give us food, but she is more generous with gems. Yeah, I could see how it's easier to grow rocks around here than crops, yeah. Such as the bloodstones, which we use in several crafts. Okay, but the shiny stones attract more than the Trev Galorg who would go searching for them. The hill beasts covet bloodstones, and will often fight to the death to recover them. Once the creatures have obtained such a bloodstone, the gem loses its shine. Only through the secret ways of the Trev Galorg can the shine be returned to the stone. So you have a secret bloodstone shining process. And can I just say, I don't want to know what the hill beasts do with them to make them dull. I'm honestly not curious. I find the whole concept repellent. Don't even tell me. So recover dull bloodstones from the hill beasts. Let's hope that doesn't turn out to be too unpleasant. Doesn't involve too thorough too thorough an autopsy to locate the dull bloodstones, I hope. Okay. All right. I will find hill beasts and somehow, in as humanitarian and sanitary a way possible, extract bloodstones, dull or otherwise. Okay, Rona, what's up with you? Yeah, I know it's a big burden. Absolutely, it totally is. Okay, what can I do? Your brother Tazgal was a hunter, but he's not returned. Travel north and search for your brother. Okay. All right. It might need help. It wouldn't surprise me a bit, but okay. I'll look for your brother. And Cameron, you're the other guy. Right? Yes, you are. Okay. All right. What do we have? The fortress of Tor Gaelvin, the home that was given to the Trave... that was at the wooden stockade that I was at? Okay. All right. Reith believes that wresting the tokens of the enemy from the Trave Duvardain is enough. Oh, so you're like, we're not just stealing any skull amulets. We're going all the way. Okay, what are we doing then? Destroy the standards that fly above its walls. That's an even more symbolic gesture, I suppose, for their camp as a collective. So I'm tracking with you. As you do this, you'll tell me, okay, all right, I'll go back and set fire to some standards. That seems like something I can do. Okay. All right, so Gryfflet has his work cut out for him next week as he continues to try to earn the trust of the slow-to-warm-up people of Algair, the Trev Galorg, and meanwhile works with Coronir to get to the bottom of these living statues that are so ugly they make you hurt when you get near them. So thanks very much, everybody. I look forward to continuing our exploration of southern Angmar next time and hopefully making a bit more progress towards making friends and influencing people here in Algair in southern Angmar. Thanks very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now.